Welcome to the MPFFU podcast. The intent and purpose of the MPFFU podcast is to support the mission to improve wages, working hours, and working conditions for its members. This podcast will disseminate evidence-based relevant information, resources, and strategies. To accomplish this, the MPFFU podcast will provide reliable, factual, and actionable information that strengthens, empowers, and supports the MPFFU members and locals through united action. Now our host, Jeff Lassers.
Thanks, Matt. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the MPFFU podcast. I'm Jeff Lassers, and I've been a firefighter paramedic with the West Bloomfield Township Fire Department, Local 1721, since 2004. In this episode, I sit down with Larry Gambotto and John Schwall. Larry Gambotto is the captain of training and safety with the Rochester Hills Fire Department, Local 3472, as well as a member of the MPFFU Health and Safety Committee. John Schwall is a shift captain with the Ferndale Fire Department, Local 812, and is also a member of the MPFFU Health and Safety Committee. Both of these fellas have a long history and a depth of experience as professional firefighters and active union representatives at the local and state level. During this episode, Larry and John will help us appreciate the value of understanding the role and functions of the MPFFU and its locals. Then they'll describe the role of the Health and Safety Committee. In doing so, Larry and John will describe the committee's current priorities regarding promoting firefighter health and safety. We finish off by discussing how members can get informed, educated, and involved with the Health and Safety Committee goals and initiatives. This turned out to be a very informative episode that provides a clear and concise overview of the MPFFU's Health and Safety Committee. Remember, the MPFFU podcast is new and there's always room to improve. So please email us your feedback and tell us what you think about the show, or send us ideas for future episodes to mpffupodcast@gmail.com. Also, check out the new MPFFU Instagram account at m.p.f.f.u. And finally, please subscribe to the Michigan Professional Firefighter Union YouTube channel. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Hi, guys.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah, Oakland County, right?
Yeah.
You know, Lansing's far.
It is.
Yeah, we're all out here.
Easier commute today.
Yeah, harder setup, but easier commute.
Yes.
I think I set up longer than the drive would have been.
Probably.
Oh, well. John, kick us off. Who are you? What do you do and where do you do it?
All right. John Schwall with Ferndale, Local 812. I've been there almost 23 years now. I'm a shift captain currently. Member of our executive board for better part of 2/3 of that time, I would say. Also headed up our Health and Safety Committee for quite a few years. Currently on the MPFFU Health and Safety Committee. And also head up our local peer support team on the department, as well as being part of the Oakway peer support team.
Right on. And peer support teams come out of the Behavioral Health Committee, really, which was a part of health and safety. And it's cool to see that all of those things have expanded and become all of their own individual entities because they are that impactful and need that much time. So
Yes. Yeah, we've spent a lot of time on one component of that the years past, and it's good to see that it has broken up so everybody can get the right amount of time into each committee.
Right. You know, having objectives that are true north are great, but if you don't have enough time to put on task, you ain't getting them done.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And it's cool to see young blood come up, too, especially with that Mike Mattern guy. He's not doing too bad, and I hear you guys are still doing some pretty amazing things in your committee, so I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
Glad to
us.
be here.
Now, Larry, who are you? What do you do, and where do you do it?
Larry Gambotto, Rochester Hills Fire Department, Local 3472. I am the Health and Safety Officer for the Rochester Hills Fire Department. Also do training, so I wear many hats over there. Member of the MPFFU's Health and Safety Committee. This is my second tour with them. And get involved in a lot of county and local areas. Member of the Oakway peer support team, and also trying to get that up and running within our own department.
Right on. So another extension of that behavioral health that's been created out of that, and health and safety. It's just so many different things. You brought up gear. I mean, just keeping our gear clean for the long haul is just like keeping your brain clean, right?
Yes.
So it's really just preventative maintenance committee is what we should call it. The Human Preventative Maintenance Committee. I like that.
You could probably have one position in every fire department that does nothing but keep up with gear. Washing, inspection, cleaning, repairing, all those things, all those components that go with it. It could be one guy's job the entire year.
Yeah, and then to keep up with the updates that are constantly being hit of what you're doing wrong.
Yeah, we do that well, right?
There's always something new. I'm like, I just had a process. I guess I got to change that.
Figure that out again.
Oh, well, geez. Well, before we get into really more of that stuff, and we will get into that stuff, help me appreciate the value of understanding the role and functions of the MPFFU and its locals. John, let's go with you first.
All right. Well, the MPFFU is there for us, run by the members. Members participate in it, and they're there to help us make sure things are going the way we want them to in Lansing, help with the fights against attacks on us and our unions and our benefits, as we've seen in the past. We spent quite a few years lobbying on the front lawn of the Capitol every December in the fights in the past. They provide that, a connection intermediate between us and the IAFF when it's needed. It all starts at the local level, though. Everybody's got to get involved with the local level, keep our locals going, learn about the union. We have a lot of new members that don't have any clue about it. They don't come from union families as per se. Some of the older members, we all had moms and dads that were part of unions, so we understood it when we walked in the door. Educating them, getting them up to speed to carry on all the work that we have done to help our ultimate goal, protect our benefits and wages and good working conditions for all of us across the state.
Absolutely. Well said, sir. Larry, how about you?
I think one of our biggest roles that we've done that I've seen over the last few years is education of legislators. I've had the opportunity to participate in the Fire Ops 101 program that Oakway's put on here the last several years. We've had great feedback from that. I had to go to city council for our new turnout gear when we did that, and I literally had one of the councilmen walking me through the process and explaining back to me the things that I had already taught him that he had learned during his time at the Fire Ops 101. It made our gear process, it made getting 2 sets of gear for each member a no-brainer, and they actually sold it for us, and it was really an easy sell, I think, based on that educational piece that we did in advance of that and what that does for us now. So.
Yeah, just making those connections of the reality of our jobs and what we're faced with allows them to make better decisions. And I don't think it's just as simple to say, hey, this better gear is better for me. I think they see the cost long term on the human cost and the human element of this. If you don't have good gear and good equipment, you're going to break down people. Those people are long-term costs, and they're still people. So being involved at the brick level, which is a local,
Yes.
builds the complex, which is the MPFFU, which works with other institutions to make sure that the whole system works together in harmony.
Yes, I think it's all that interrelated, how things are connected and how the cost of, yes, the gear may be more expensive, but to wear it for 4 or 5 hours, they realize, oh, it's lighter, it's more breathable, it protects us better.
Right.
And it protects our members over a long haul, what that's going to do for them and the longevity of their career and their safeties.
Yeah. Literally walking in our shoes for the day
Yes.
doesn't hurt their opinion of us, right?
May give them a blister or two, but they
Those are fun to earn sometimes,
yes,
though.
they are. They understand
You
it.
get a fun fire helmet with it.
Oh, they do.
It's cool, and cool pictures. You get lots of
Yes, they are.
selfies. What
Lots of
politician doesn't love a
They
selfie?
love selfies, right?
Oh, they should call them politicianies. All right. Now, you and I and John had a time to talk before this, and we talked about really like the 3 primary drives of your committee, and it really boils down to 3 things. Educating the members on what they can get from their current health care. That's number 1. Number 2, designing legislation to support firefighter health and safety. Examples, like you said, like cancer presumption, mental health presumption. And then maintaining knowledge of the latest firefighter health and safety trends on the national and state level. So let's start with that first one. Why is it so important for your committee to focus on educating the members on what they can get from their current health care?
So educating our members about healthcare, I think, is a key component. You guys may know I've got kind of a history that brought me to the fire service a lot different than a lot of other people. But I was a cancer survivor before I came to the fire service. And I did that by understanding who I was and having regular physicals and having a relationship with your doc. And I see guys now that hate going to the doc and they don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, you're an idiot. It's the best thing for you. Go see the guy once a year, get a physical done, and take care of yourself. And the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to find something ahead of time and be proactive about it rather than having to deal with it worse off or getting too far. And then all of a sudden it's stage 4. Well, you've known for months. Oh, yeah, I've been feeling that way for months. And it's like, okay, you should have done something months ago about it. So don't be afraid to get out there and take care of yourself. And not just for the job, but for your family, right? That's the biggest thing is after this is all said and done, being there for your family, taking care of yourself now.
Right. We talk about things that the union has worked to gain or the things the union should go get that we need gains. And sometimes we forget that the union has done a lot of work to get a lot of resources available for its members, and they just need to know about them. So it seems like your committee's just trying to organize them to a point of which they're more accessible, and we bring down the stigma with going to get, a cancer check isn't always fun. Isn't exactly going to the doctor. It's the same look my kid gives me when I say we got to go to see the doctor, And we like our doctor. We have fun there. So, okay, well, designing legislation to support firefighter health and safety. Why is that on the list of things?
Well, it's important. All of our insurances have limitations, and we need avenues to get treatment for our members afterwards. We've put our lives out there protecting the members of our community. We need to have extra help when it comes to getting these cancers and other things. Having this legislation out there that provides a fund for people to use for treatment when they get to those points that it goes well beyond their insurance. Our department alone has had a couple different cancer issues with people, and through the talks with the city and that, it's cost the city well over $1 million to cover these people for treatments.
And these are people that are probably still getting their annual physicals. So sometimes it comes up between those physicals,
Yes.
exams, and the technology isn't always there. Even all the benefits that currently exist, cancer is going to get by. So it's not like the health screenings are going to solve this, but it should catch more earlier, right? As a cancer survivor, that's probably the goal to cancer, is finding out as early as possible because it's at its smallest, weakest point. And so maybe we can eliminate that. But at the end of the day, I'm still going on calls in situations where I'm increasing my risk of cancer on almost a daily basis.
Yeah, and we do it willingly, and we love our jobs. We're all here for that reason. We love these jobs, and we're willing to take those risks. But on the other side, we need those protections, and the MPFFU has fought hard to help get us those protections. So if that day comes for somebody, there's that pot there that they can go to get help.
And it's working because
Yeah.
we're actually helping people.
Yes.
And so the same thing we're trying to pass legislation, Larry, on the other side of that is behavioral health presumption at the state level, making sure that people recognize that when I go on calls, I'm increasing my risk of cancer. I'm also increasing my risk of other things, cardiovascular issues and behavioral health emergencies.
Yeah, I'm excited with this last election, what's going on. And obviously that's where the committees have really shown to us what the PAC has done and what happened in the election with the state here just recently. Behavioral health, I'm sure, is going to be coming up here very soon. And we all know that we're exposed, right? We all get it. We all have it from different levels. We've all seen things and done things that normal people don't do. And we go out and we do it every day, right? So we've got to be able to have that avenue to get help. And that's really a big stigma. And why we are on this committee is to get a lot of that out, and why we push to get behavioral health to be its own committee at the state. To have presumption of that, we all know that's there. It's to have the backing of the presumption of that now at the state level is going to be huge if and when that comes along for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, there was a stigma for a long time on even talking about it. And now that seems to be dissolving. It's not completely dissolved, but it's certainly dissolving in the socialized sense that at the kitchen table, you're not getting made fun of for talking about it. You're getting support. And then maybe 2 or 3 guys that are alone might be joking about it or whatever. But at the same time, it's the same type of presumption that got us from cancer of it's a stigma to even go get checked. I don't want to deal with it, to now you're getting checked and getting screened. And you're probably going to get it if you live long enough. You're probably going to get cancer of some type. And then you're going to need health care beyond that.
We all need, and we all have behavioral health. All of us. We're all broken toys a little bit or another. But
Right.
so that assumption,
All humans.
We're all
just,
human.
but,
Yep.
but, you know, like Mike Mattern said, and a lot of people say, is like for lunch, we're in 2 to 3 people's worst day of their lives.
Exactly.
You know?
So we need help with that, and I hope that presumption goes through.
Now, what about maintaining knowledge of the latest firefighter health and safety trends in the national and state level? You know, we were talking earlier, just keeping up on what's going on with gear is a full-time job. If you take apart the mechanics of all things health and safety in the first responder or fire service community, it's its own job times every single one of those topics.
And it'd probably bankrupt the departments if we did everything every day, right? But I think the biggest thing for our members is you got to take care of yourself. We talk about it. There's support from the chiefs. They send us to trainings. I've been pretty fortunate to get out to several different trainings, to go places, to get educated, to learn things. But I can bring it back to you. It's down to the members themselves having to take care of that stuff. It's down to you washing your gear. It's down to you going to talk to somebody if you're having issues behavioral health-wise. It's down to you to go to see your doc if you've got a pain that hasn't gone away in a month. These are things that you can do, that we need to do, and we need to educate the members on to take care of themselves, because nobody else can take care of you.
Right on. So you guys can help give guidelines and kind of lead the charge on that and manage logistics and hopefully provide some leadership from the state level at your committee. So it looks like here you got 7 current members. Who's your chair?
Rich Clark is our chair.
And you got a vice chair?
We got a vice chair is Chris Reynolds.
Right on. So that's Grand Rapids, Rich Clark, and Saginaw?
Yes, I believe so.
Look at me. I got that right. All right. So you have 7 members there. You got your chair and your vice chair. So in the eyes of the committee, health and safety are 2 different things that complement each other. And right now, what are the things that your committee is promoting when it comes to physical wellness?
The priorities when it comes to physical wellness include sleep deprivation and understanding your sleep and taking care of it better, nutrition, proper eating, movement and being active, and then finding qualified professionals to help you get through those things. And there's so many different professionals out there now that can help you in so many different areas. There's movement specialists and coaches and nutritionists and people that can help you with your sleep and get you through different things there.
So really just trying to connect the dots between those key components in our members, really, then, eh?
Yeah, give them that avenue, those resources and where they can go and how they can better take care of themselves.
Okay, so finding more of those people. Now, John, what about promoting mental wellness? So now that's a part of our health, right?
Yes, definitely. And past versions of the committee, the behavioral health component was included in. We realized in our last round, just before this one, that behavioral health had to be separated in its own committee. And that's where it's at now. But we're here to support them with whatever they need to keep their mission going and get it out there. Again, like you said earlier, getting rid of the stigma, making it a norm that it's okay to ask. Things like using, having that 988 number if you need help, or using the Frontline Strong, which is out of Wayne State, which is a great help for us in the state, along with our own local peer support teams. And then we have Mike Mattern, who's done a great job and a lot of great work in this field for us. Mike Mattern leads up the Behavioral Health Committee. He's a great resource for people. If you're starting a team in your local or you're working on doing something bigger than that, like in Oakland County, we've started within Oakway. We've got an Oakway peer support team that we've been working on. And Mike's helped us quite a bit with that too.
So really the ground and foundation is really set for you at this point, and just promoting what's already been created. 988, Frontline Strong are products not of the MPFFU, but what the MPFFU has jumped in and been a part of in collaboration. So really just making sure people know about them and utilizing them, just like our benefits, right? It's saying, hey, you got a problem with this? We got at least a potential solution for you, or at least a road to go down. That's huge.
And that's the thing is using the two committees to get all this information out there to make sure our members know where to go and they're not caught in a crossfire of nothing or lost out there and don't have any idea where something's at to help them. So
right. And then you got people that know there's something wrong and they go looking for help and they don't know where to look. So this would help them. And then there's people like maybe me, who I just turned 40 in the last year. So I'm getting to that point where I'm supposed to start checking things more often than I have in the past.
Yeah.
So it's time for me to get more serious about my annual health screenings and my very specific screenings to my genetics or whatever might be wrong with me, right? So what about providing access to adequate annual health screenings of all types?
That's where the union can really come in and educate, help people out to understand that getting checked annually, getting to a doc that understands you and understands what you do. There's checklists that you can take to your doctor from the IFF, I know I've seen online, to go with them and say, hey, I'm a firefighter. These are things that I'm exposed to and that we do on a daily basis. Is there anything else here? Or these are some recommended tests that we should have or look at. Can we do these things? And then there's also then other screenings that you can go to. Some of them, most of them are free. Your department can set them out and they can come out and do cardiac screenings, vascular screenings, neuropulmonary. They should be part of your annual physicals you're getting already anyways. And I'm a big proponent of that. And I would hope that the departments, and this is where we have to educate the departments and the chiefs, are pushing for that. It's covered in your insurance. It's probably free already for you to go get a physical. And again, understanding your benefits and where you're at and talking to your doc, and then getting access to these specialty things that we as firefighters are exposed to and tracking those.
Yeah, so it seems like it's becoming more and more popular to standardize this approach. So right now we're saying, hey, go get your annual health screening. It's becoming not enough. The evidence is showing that not only you got to get your annual, there's probably some things you're going to want to look at, even if it's not a red alert. Diagnostics and medicine are getting so good that there's probably some things you start looking at before they're a problem, right? A little more holistic approach to that.
Correct. And NFPA is a good source for that. They have a whole standard on annual physicals or physicals for firefighters. Along with that comes doing stress tests, and I'm sure eventually certain blood tests for cancer work.
And what's most important is that we know that we probably have something waiting for us we haven't utilized.
Probably.
Paid for.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
For sure.
And that's where you guys come in, is making sure that all of our members know what they are, eh?
Yeah, you already bought and paid for it. You might as well go out and drive it, right?
Right.
So
might as well.
Get it out of the garage.
Let's get in the safety component of this. So let's talk about some of your committee's current priorities regarding promoting firefighter safety. Because again, health is really, it's preventative maintenance, where safety is like, you got to put a helmet on.
Exactly. And one of the key components in the safety part is wearing our gear properly, cleaning and deconning our gear after fires, making sure we wear a mask during overhaul. We all want to take our air packs off, take our masks off.
Not just the mask, but connect it to your bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everything face, together, because we know, even though the fire's out and it seems clear in there, everything that's burned up is off-gassing well after the fire's put out. And we're breathing that stuff in, taking that stuff in where we don't need to be. We've got to change our culture and ourselves. No more having that burned up helmet, because that shows that I did this. I've done this job. I'm a senior person now, and I'm a salty old guy, and I've got this burned up helmet. That's just cancer on top of your head waiting to leach into your skin. So properly deconning everything afterwards, getting all the gear cleaned up, changing out your hood, washing your gloves. Those are all key components that the Health and Safety Committee is going to make a point of bringing them out through different venues, social media stuff. A little off on that, just we've already started pushing some stuff out, social media posts, little things that take a few minutes to read, if that, and just keeps it in our mind so we're doing things better and improving our lifestyles down the road.
So it's a lot like the health screenings. It's just doing things you should be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
When this happens, do this.
Yeah.
Don't walk around all day with a bunch of soot all over you.
No.
Wipe your neck off.
We've all been doing this a little bit, sitting at the table here, and
right.
We know after a fire, we never washed our gear.
It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I got things to do.
Yeah, and we're all like, oh, that smells good. It was a house fire. We know now we shouldn't even be wearing it back to the station.
Right.
We should be bagging it up on the scene. Wiping down on the scene with the wipes and stuff.
Do you remember going on a firehouse 20 years ago and it always smelled like
yes.
that? That's what the smell was?
Yes.
It's changed.
Yes.
Even my wife, who grew up in firehouses, her father was a full-time firefighter. And she even noted that the smell is slightly different. When she came in after a fire, she said, oh, there's that old smell. So it's interesting that even people have noted over the years that our stations are probably healthier because we are removing those toxins. Let's get into some of those toxins. Now, right now, there seems to be an increased awareness of dangers of PFAS. Why has this hit the radar of the Health and Safety Committee?
Well, PFAS is everywhere. State just came through and picked up a whole bunch of foam that went through things, and it's everywhere. So PFAS is a forever chemical. It doesn't break down. The problem for us is it's in our turnout gear. It's everywhere. It's in every single layer of your turnout gear that you have on. So what we thought was cool, so not only that, we can clean it and get rid of the effects or the remnants of the fire, but the PFAS is still built in your gear. It's what keeps you safe, but yet it also exposes you to these forever chemicals. That's why it's so important, A, to keep your gear clean and rotate your gear out, and then shower after fires to rinse off not just the fire debris, but that stuff that's leaching out of your gear. PFAS has been known to link to cancer, and that's what they're finding. IFF just recently put out a statement with regards to it. Don't take your gear into living quarters at all. Most of us, I know at our station, we've got a sign on the door that says no gear in the living quarters, right? If you transport it, which a lot of us do because we go from one station to another, bag your gear. Keep it in the back of your truck. Put it in a container that's sealed. Apparatus cabs should be washed down and cleaned after fires, right? They should make vinyl seats in all fire trucks. I don't know why they haven't figured that out yet. Washing your hands when handling gear. Or better yet, we're all paramedics too. Grab some gloves, put those on when you're handling your gear. Legacy turnout gear should be gone. They're starting to come out with PFAS-free gear. It's still a process. The last gear that we just bought, the exterior of the coats are PFAS-free. Doesn't say anything about the liners or what's sitting next to your skin as you wear it. And then just don't wear your gear just because. Gone are the days that you're going to the store to go shopping and you're walking through with your gear on, right?
I saw that movie. It looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. Or you're cold, so let's go put my turnout coat on, right? Instead of grabbing a jacket that they pay hundreds of dollars for with all the reflective that we should probably be wearing anyways. So be mindful of your gear. That's the biggest thing. Don't wear it if you don't need to. Understand what call you're going to and wearing the proper PPE, and that your turnout gear isn't always the proper PPE. Sometimes it's just a jacket and a pair of gloves, right? So,
yeah, good point, man. All right, so as we close out here, let's talk about some of your recommendations. John, let's start with you. Can you tell our MPFFU members how they can get involved, educated, and or directly involved with the MPFFU Health and Safety Committee and its goals and objectives?
The first thing would be is use of social media. So the Health and Safety Committee has a Facebook page, has an Instagram page. Liking those, you'll see posts from us. We've paired with a grad student from one of the local universities here. She's working on like PSAs for us on different topics that we'll be pushing out. Getting that out there, you'll be able to see those. Signing up to be on the committee the next time committee appointments come up. Even getting involved at your local level. Start there. Each department should have a health and safety committee. Get involved in that respect. If you have ideas, find out who's on the committee. The MPFFU is working on updating some stuff. You should be able to reach out soon to get emails, but your local president can get you the email of the chair of the committee and send them if you have ideas. Bring them to us so that we can work on them. We want to know what the members want too, and not just what we think from the other end.
Larry, how about you?
Yeah, I think getting involved in your local committee is a big start in help educating the members, getting yourself educated. just read instead of watching YouTube, maybe read or watch YouTube. There's probably videos out there about taking care of your gear and cleaning it.
Watch some podcasts from the MPFFU.
Yeah, watch the MPFFU podcast. I think it's important to get educated and get involved at the local. You don't have to be necessarily an executive board member, but they need the support of other people and to educate. And you can do research and you can pass out and you can just be a good example for the other members and call them on it. Post-fire, let's go wash our gear,
Right.
So, and understand.
Sometimes it's just like we have the fire wipes or whatever one they are.
Love those, man.
Right. And
Love
sometimes
those.
It's just somebody going to get it out of the truck and passing them out and they go, oh yeah, thanks, man. It's new. So sometimes it's not even stigma.
Yeah.
It's just new. Like,
Just
I
new.
forgot about those things. Thanks, Brent. And and I'm wiping them off my face and doing the thing.
I've done that. I went and got them out and you give it to the first guy and they're like, oh yeah, that's right, Cap. And they start wiping down. And next thing they're like, they take out another and they wipe off another one. And like 5 or 6 deep and you got 7 or 8 guys standing around and you've gone through 50 of them. There's a pile of these, grayish, nasty looking wipes now on the ground.
Yeah.
But it's amazing what just post-decon can do.
For sure. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. I really appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. That is all for the show today, everybody. Thank you, Larry Gambotto and John Schwall, for joining me on the 6th episode of the MPFFU podcast. This turned out to be a very informative episode that provides a clear and concise overview of the MPFFU Health and Safety Committee functions and initiatives. I hope all of our listeners enjoyed the show and got something out of it. Remember, this is a new show and there's always room to improve. So please email us your feedback and tell us what you think about the show, or send us ideas for future episodes to mpffupodcast@gmail.com. Also, check out the new MPFFU Instagram account at m.p.f.f.u. And finally, please subscribe to the Michigan Professional Firefighter Union YouTube channel, where you'll find all sorts of informative and funny podcast content. Have a great day.